We're live, aren't we? We got this? Alright, it looks like we're live. Welcome to Vinyl Junkies, episode 13. Let me just make sure that this shit's actually going live, alright? Okay, I see live on YouTube. Do I see live in Facebook land? I think we see live in Facebook land also. You'll need to excuse the fact that this is the way it is that live broadcasts go, me having to check because, well, there's no producer, man. I'm the producer. When I saw your face, now I'm the producer. What we're going to do is a few new things. Before we start a few new things, what we're going to do is introduce you to all the wonderful people that make this type of a show possible. But the buttons need to work in order for the fucking show to be possible. Frustrating. Frustrations. Woo! Look at that. This broadcast, number 13 of Vinyl Junkies, is brought to you by Vinyl Me Please. The best damn record club out there. You guys want to win a prize? Hey, you like free records? Do you like free records? Why don't you visit that link and share this broadcast right now? Let everybody see that this is the way you waste your time on a Saturday watching me. That's horrible. But what you do is you go to the link and pick a record. Any record. Anything you want. Visit the Vinyl Me Please site to win a vinyl record. No purchase necessary. Share this stream, pick your record, and win. Simple, isn't it? The best damn vinyl club out there. VNP. Soundsmith. Do you want to talk about cartridge excellence? We talk about Soundsmith. Precision vinyl cartridges, handcrafted by experts. Peter Letterman, over 30 years in the business. Makes them by hand in upstate New York. Please visit sound-smith.com. 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 And that's where it is that you're going to find meticulous craftsmanship that delivers a superb listening experience. Yes. Then we got Flip Bin. You see here? This thing here? My records. Flip Bin everywhere. Fill, flip, play, and display. Visit flipbin.com for the best vinyl display I have ever used. No lying to you there. It's absolutely true. Vinyl Style. Vintage solutions for the modern era. These guys took the time to make it like a proper pre-roll. So what I'll do is read and try to sound really professional because they took the time. Vinyl Style provides the highest level of sustainability for your records and accessories, while most importantly, remaining affordable. Protect your collection with Vinyl Style today. Vintage solutions for the modern era. And the Vinyl Style, at the top, you know, it's got the little TM saying trademark. Like, don't, yeah. Affordable solutions for today's modern vinyl problems. Vinyl Style, you need it, you need it, you need it. Is there anybody else? We need org music. One more. Almost done. And then we can stop talking about those losers that actually make it so that I can earn my living. Org music, shining new light on seminal recordings from vinyl catalogs like CTI, Sun Records, Black Lion, and the Atlantic and Columbia Jazz catalogs. Whenever I talk about jazz, chances are I'm going to wind up talking about org music at some point or another because the catalog is amazing. And there's more stuff coming, so why don't you visit orgmusic.com, pick some records, because we're going to be doing some freebies when it comes to that. And if you see me, my hands are actually shaking because I'm done with that part of the show, and that part of the show is kind of scripted. So at this point in the show, I guess what I'm going to say is I'm not going to let my words be misconstrued. I don't mean any hatred to anybody. I hate absolutely nobody. 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 I'm 47. I don't got time to hate anyone anymore, man. But the world's a fucked up place. And if I'm going to talk about music, you know, music is our sanctuary. We put on our records to make ourselves feel very often. And one of the primary rules, one of the primary things that we kind of like think is important in the Vinyl Junkies forum is the fact that no political discussions, no religious discussions. It's not the place. It's not. We're there to talk about music. Okay. That puts me in a little bit of a conundrum when it comes to a show like this, because you watch this show because of the vinyl. I know that you watch the show for the vinyl. That's the whole point, right? We're here to share our love of music. As a matter of fact, if anything, Vinyl Junkies has to be, I mean, it is for me. It's a sanctuary away from all of that, you know? So it's like if I look at almost anything else, you can click almost anywhere else and it's fucking tragedy everywhere. So I like the idea of just being able to find one place where we don't talk about tragedy. And we talk about music, and we can feel safe there. I know I needed that, on the one hand. On the other hand, it's an important issue, and I don't know what to do, because music is my sanctuary also. It's my sanctuary from what happens around me. That's to say that things happen, and then my music habits, my listening habits change as a result. Very often, you know, to reflect all that. So, I'm bipolar. I'm mentally ill. So things, when 58, 50, I don't watch anymore, okay? When a lot of people die, it makes for rough times for all of us, right? And music is where it is that I go. But the thing is that the world gets shaken, and suddenly you find yourself listening to music. You know, you're supposed to be talking about some records that have come in and everything, but the music tends to get aggressive, and you wind up playing a record like Controlled by Hatred or Rain and Blood. And I am instantly reminded as to one of the first things that attracted me as a metalhead, a safe haven to experience aggression. So I listened to Tommy Araya sing about Monarch to the Kingdom of the Dead, infamous butcher, and it rings far, far, far too fucking true, no matter what the topic is. And when Org Music sends me a record that's called Controlled by Hatred, that's something that I rely on. That's something that I understand all too well. So, thanks to the heavy music for helping me get by. But, you know, nah. Can I tell you how I protect myself? Let's try to bring some levity to all of this. I don't want to fucking get on no... I'm trying to find the proper balance. I'm having trouble here, okay? But I'm trying to find the proper balance between addressing the real shit that's going on inside me and I did almost nothing today, this week. I slept through everything because 59 people died. And we're told, thoughts and prayers. Hey, you. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. And then you got people who try to play the fucking polite card, right? It's a tragedy. Now is not the time to talk about it. So, when are you supposed to talk about it? Now, of course, my TV's about to go off because, well, but I got that fixed. It's okay. When's the time to talk about it? Do you talk about it? Is Vinyl Junkies the place to talk about it? No, not really. But you know what? I'm not really talking about it. I'm talking about how it is that it affected my music and how it is that, whether you like it or not, your mood affects the stuff you listen to. So you wind up listening to Suicidal Tendencies and Slayer because that feels more right than a silly love song. Do you understand? Now, It's for protection, right? Okay, I protect myself. It's important for me to protect myself. So what I'll do is I'll show you, if I can, how it is that I protect myself. Let's please take into account, I'm a dumb Canadian dude. Dumb Canadian dude. Dumber than a box of rocks, man. I'm telling you right now, not very smart. So I would say that probably my way of protecting myself is not a good way of protecting myself because, well, I'm not that smart. So what happens is, you know, the person has to do something in order to kill. So I'm just wondering if I was on the 32nd floor with this thing here, how far would I get? How about if I had a musket? How far would I get? How about a 6-shooter? How far would I get? Let's protect all that. Protection. Protection! How far would I get? On the 32nd floor. Whatever floor, I don't know. I stopped watching. Now. I know this seems silly because protection is very important. It is, but the reason I bought this stealth bat here is to play baseball. I bought this to play softball. That's I mean, again, let's take my just inherent Canadian stupidity into consideration. When I buy a tool, I buy it because I need a tool. I don't buy something not to use it. I buy a tool to use it. So you see, I used to play baseball. Now, you know, I'm a fan of The Walking Dead, and I know that if I put some barbed wire around this, I can fucking Negan the fuck out of anyone. But that's not why I bought it. I bought it to play softball. That's why. So, but you know, it's around. Protection. Protection. Now, protection from what? What am I scared of? Because, I mean, if you feel you need protecting, you got to be scared of something, right? So, what exactly am I scared of? Well, wait a second, I'm not scared. No, you have to be scared of something in order to buy a tool whose purpose is to protect you, by your own words, right? So, okay, I have protection too. Can I show you my protection? Would you guys like to see my protection? I've believed in protection for a long time. My first protection was named Sharma. She was a Doberman Shepherd mix. I wish I still had her, but she was great protection. Then you know what wound up happening? Sasha came into our life maybe 12 years ago. She protected us greatly. That bark, man. Anybody rang the bell, it's amazing. With a couple of treats in your hands, what you do is you just grab these little treats. You know, not cookies, because the cookies are too big. They're going to get fat, right? And this particular protection, Sasha, my protection, they get fat really fast, but they got a good bark. So what happens is you get these little pebbles, and you teach them to bark when the doorbell rings, or any other noise happens in the house, and they bark, you see. Even when you don't give them the treat, you can train them. Now, I want to let you know that this is my particular model of protection. That's Sasha. She protected us. When the doorbell rang, she barked. There are different models that do different things, but Sasha, thank you for protecting our family. Then, unfortunately, that protection no longer stopped functioning, you know, because she passed on. So, we got more protection. This time, the protection was called Jazz and Patches. They're two beagles. Both of them dumber than a box of rocks. Stupid animals, really. But they're yappy fucks. And the same thing, you know, treats. They bark whenever anybody is at the door. It's amazing. Now, you guys would be right. What the hell are dogs like that going to do to anybody who threatens to come into my house and disrupt me and hurt and rob and kill me? You know the funny thing about this type of a protection? I chose Jazz and, you know, Patches because that's the kind of model that serves different purposes. They're really good with kids too, so they're really fun to be around. And if you take the safety off, I don't have to worry about my kid's 11-year-old head being blown off. That doesn't happen because Sasha and Jazz, or should I say Patches and Jazz, the safety actually really works. Now, get your own model. Train a Schnauzer. Schnauzers aren't good enough? You know what? They make more dangerous models. Get one of those. You get one of those on the job, motherfuckers will be keeping away from your house. Protection. The safety is considerably less lethal. Now, all of this does have to do with music. You know why? Because I spent the entire week enraged, listening to Suicidal Tendencies and Slayer. Because I had this outrage in me, and I didn't know what to do with it. And you know what? It fucking sucks you up inside. It kills you inside. So, I never got a Rottweiler. I never felt afraid enough to get that type of protection. But I hear this type of protection is really, really, like, they have an intimidating bark. Just to tell you, you know, they have an intimidating bark and they're good with kids. So, good protection. Now, there's other protection. I got bars on my windows over here downstairs. Any fuckhead, they work. They work. They don't kill anyone, but they work. Okay? And then there's these things over here. Do they sell these? I think they might sell these worldwide. They're called motion cameras. I don't know. Do they sell them in the United States? But alarm systems are protection. I got these things all over the house. Okay? So, once they get through the various layers of protection, my question becomes, when do I need a gun? When do I need a gun? Who are you protecting yourself against? What are you afraid of? See, I'm not afraid of what's around me, but even then, I got things in place. They don't involve a gun. They certainly don't involve semi-automatics. You see Negan here? The only reason I took this is it's a fucking prop for this show, because fact of the matter is, I don't think I need Negan either. You want to know the only time that I really do feel afraid? Let me take out the protection here. That's the dog. We need to remove that, okay? Can we... Oh, shit! That's the other protection. This over here, this protection, and I know it's in my face. I'm sorry. It's okay. My face doesn't matter, right? Here. Does that make you... The protection that I'm showing you there, that is the only protection in my house that's lethal. That's anthrax. Anthrax has protected this family from so many creatures that have tried to invade our space. You know, like, should we leave windows open? As a matter of fact, you should maybe stop watching because there's, you know, images here that may trigger. Okay, you see that mouse? That mouse was killed during VJ Live number 6. Live! It was happening live. So, this show was witness to a murder. All this is to say that the protection worked. It did. Fucking claws. As a matter of fact, I gotta tell my friends when they come to this house, you guys, don't go close to the cat. Anthrax will fuck you up. He'll fuck you up! It's dangerous. So I feel pretty protected. I don't have a gun, though. But hey, what do I know? But you know something? I can tell you one thing for sure. There is a time when I am afraid. I am. That time is now. And I wish it wasn't true, and I wish I was saying it for effect, but it's not. Vinyl Junkies is a full-time job, and 60 hours a week. I didn't do 60 hours a week this week because I was depressed for too much of it. So I wound up having time for not too many records. Suicidal Tendencies, Controlled by Hatred, definitely. Slayer, Rain and Blood, yeah, definitely, but those are short albums, man. There wasn't much, so I played them over and over and over and over and over again. And I tried playing stuff to make me stop feeling the way I felt, but nothing worked. So I wound up wasting an entire week because people need to protect themselves. Now, you know, I ask myself a question as a dumb Canadian. It's like, wait a second, you know, if everybody there had a gun, that would have solved everything, right? Right. Okay. So, I love you guys. This is not an anti-American rant. This, unfortunately, is what affected my listening for the week most this week. And you want to know the truth? You know where it is that I'm afraid? I'm going to Detroit on November 6th and 7th for a record convention. And I'm scared. A gun won't make me feel any safer, that's for sure. Okay, I'll go there and it's like, there's no way but it just sounds like it's so dangerous down there that I'm scared. It's like, the minute I get into Detroit, I feel like, the way it is that you guys are telling me with all this need for protection, my chances of getting shot go up the minute it is that I step on American soil. So, if you want to know for real when I feel scared, want to know what really makes me scared? November and 6th and 7th scare me. Do I have anything to be afraid of? I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. You're telling me you need protection, so for protection from what? As a stupid Canadian guy who's too oblivious to feel like he needs protection like that, I don't know if I really do need protection or not. It scares me, but not in my, not just. I'm going to Detroit. It scares me. I hope I'm wrong. I can't drink 59 of these, okay? But pour one out. And Vinyl Junkies was my sanctuary. You guys. Sharing your records with me, sharing your music with me. Just knowing there was one place where we all got together and it was on our mind, but we kind of all got together. I'm sorry if I'm the one who ultimately destroyed all that by talking about it, but music is my life, right? So that's what happened in my life this week. Now, another big controversy. Should we go there? The other big controversy is Mr. Anthony Fantano, the NeedleDrop. What's the name of that other channel he has? Anyway, look, this dude, 1.1 million subscribers. His videos have been seen over 2.6 million guys, okay, times. Anthony Fantano is a legit internet star. Now, whether you like the guy, you don't like the guy, that's a completely different thing. I mean, from my personal perspective, I haven't been able to get through a single video of his, and that's certainly not to disparage. It's just I can't. It doesn't hold my interest, and to me, to do that many videos makes it so that it's impossible that you listen to music with any type of real critical ear. You know, it just seems impossible to do. Now, 1.1 million viewers and 2.6 million views will generate a fair amount of income. Okay, so the guy's well off. He's doing well, and he deserves it. He works hard. It's very clear. Anthony Fantano works very hard. But what it is that he does is he puts out this second thing, this second channel. I forgot what the hell it's called. Whatever it's called, okay? But what it is that he does is basically makes a bunch of comments, in jest or not, that inflame people with hatred in their hearts. So suddenly black stereotypes come up, and feminist stereotypes come up, and you build a channel with over 400,000 subscribers, and while I'm not exactly somebody who would go out and say that Anthony Fantano has hatred in his heart, I don't believe he does. It's too easy to scapegoat that way. I think that this environment is already, there's so much garbage in this environment already. We don't need another platform, whether in jest or not, to foment that type of hate. Okay? The secret handshake will not do. Anthony Fantano, by making a channel like this, is creating the secret handshake. Okay? You can say hearty har har, I'm laughing, but what it is that you're doing is you're also providing, you're fomenting hatred. Now, that might just be misguided. And that's the way it is that I would choose to see it. But how much money do you need, man? You got 1.1 million fans. Earned. And what you do it well. I can only hope to be as good as him, and I can only hope that Vinyl Junkies will one day enjoy the success that the NeedleDrop has. But, you know what? That other audience, the other audience that you were going with that other site, what's that site called? One of you guys in the comments mention it. See, that's an audience I don't want at all. The alt-right. Stick it right up your ass. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this right now, I'm telling you right now, I don't want your money. I don't want your audience. I don't want anything. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. You understand? And that, I think, is where the difference is. You don't create something if you know that it's going to attract a cesspool of dirtbags. Okay? Sometimes it's better to take a stand and say, no, this will not stand. It doesn't mean that the rest of the world will agree. But it's just in your little patch of the world. Okay? You don't put together 400,000 people so that you can... It's a pretty raggedy way to make money, Fantano. It is, man. And I can't say that I'm behind it, but I don't think you're a racist, and I absolutely respect your work. But the reason you're taking lumps is probably because you deserve it, dude. Not cool. We're gonna try... Oh, yeah. We're gonna try something new. I had a big gob. I had to swallow that gob, too. That sucked. We're going to do something new. This record here, Water, History of the Future, has been described as krautrock, and there's a whole write-up on it, and if I was really, truly ready, I'd have it for you. But what we're going to do is I'm going to play this record now, because something really cool happened. First of all, I'll show it to you. Okay, so this is kind of like the unboxing, and I actually prepared a really nice visual for that to happen, too. Okay. It started here with the shadow drops, for those of you that came last week. Something really cool happened from that. But before I put it on, here, let me show you the vinyl. They'll be selling it in black, but this is kind of like really cool colored vinyl. 2 different types, and it's going to be on sale October the 20th, Friday. Friday is vinyl day, right? So, is it any good? This is going to be my NeedleDrop, and you guys are going to listen at the same time. And you guys can help me decide if it's good or not. Let's do this review together, shall we? Now, you know why it is that it's even possible to do a review like this? Because I work with amazing people. The people at Temporary Residence, Jeremy Devine, Tommy Cotter, Anna Lopez... The fucking salt of the earth, man. I did something last week, and I put another record on. Just give me a second, I'll show it to you. Like I was saying, oh, it's right there, behind the shadow drops, which is Taka from Mono's solo release that came out a few weeks ago. And I played the music in the background, hoping that I wouldn't get taken down for copyright. Now, wouldn't you know it, of course, boom, copyright hits me the minute it appears on YouTube. Right? So, at this point, I don't know what it is that I should be doing, because... You know, what's the point of doing a show if, I mean, people are going to come and just grab it, right? So, I got to earn a living too. So, I contacted Tommy and asked. It's like, look, you know, there's a copyright strike here, just so that you know. you know, I took a chance with the material, and I'm sorry if, you know, I understand if there's the copyright. I won't do it again. Let's just, we hadn't ever kind of crossed that because, guys, Vinyl Junkies happens. I mean, I'm making it up as I go along. A lot of it, I'm making it up as I go along. Okay, so playing that that record from the Behind the Shadow Drops last week was just something that happened. Okay, and so the copyright thing comes up for the first time. So I speak to Jeremy and ask him, look, dude, you know, I'm sorry if that's the case, but let me know if there's going to be copyright problems, and I promise just I won't use your material anymore. You know, please don't take it like I'm trying to appropriate anything. That's not the way I do it at all. You know, as a matter of fact, if anything, for me, you see, I'm talking, but the fact that there's music in the background, like, you know, this water record, why don't I show you the other visual now? Did that work? It worked. So that's what the water record looks like, coming out on October 20th on Temporary Residence. That's what you're listening to in the background. The entire point of playing the Behind the Shadow Drops for me was just to provide a little bit of a background while the show is going on, and it's fun to be able to do a running review of it. You know, for me, it really is about making you guys listen to the music. I don't feel comfortable giving any music a numerical value. I think it's fucking cheap to do that to art, and I don't wish to do things that way. I can tell you my impressions, but you know what? Even writing the impressions sometimes, putting it into words. So then I thought to myself, actually, just a couple of hours ago, you know what would be the best thing in the world? Why don't we make that first needle drop happen while the show is going on so that you guys can help me review for the record yourself? So what we're listening to is Water, and the name of the record is History of the Future. And why don't you guys tell me what you think of it? There seems to be some references to krautrock. I know there's former members of Slint on it, and Grails and others. Again, I am ill-prepared, so I don't have the notes, but this is actually my second listen. Again, the entire idea of the live review happened just a few hours ago, so... But if it can work, let me continue the Temporary Residence story. After I spoke to Jeremy, the owner of the label, El Capitano, he immediately called the people that handle their copyright and removed the copyright strike so that the video gets to be seen free and clear, and they allow me to use the music. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, because that is absolute support for art, and I'm glad it gives me another element. You know, I can't play a Led Zeppelin song for you because, well, you know, I have a Led Zeppelin story. One of the reasons I can't listen to Led Zeppelin anymore, you know why? Because I love hockey, so I watch hockey almost every day. All the Leafs games and tons of others. Okay, most of the Habs games. See, now something happens. When you watch hockey, in between whistles, you hear Led Zeppelin. That's just the way it is. So, lo and behold, the first game of the season. Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Winnipeg Jets. Second period. First stoppage. Hey, hey, mama, say the way you move. Gonna make you sweat. Gonna make you groove. And it starts. First game of the season. I didn't get through one period. There are 81 games to go, plus a whole fuckload of playoff games. Do you have any idea how satiated my head will be with Led Zeppelin? Ta-na-na-ts, 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 ta-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ooh, ooh. Been around time since I rock and roll. And it's going to go on and on. You know, tonight, I'm watching a hockey game tonight. The Leafs are playing the Rangers. Can I tell you what it's also going to happen? I'm going to listen to a Led Zeppelin song. You know why? Because I don't have a choice. I don't have a fucking choice. I don't have a choice. Metallica, same argument. We're off to Never, Neverland. It's fucking insipid. But I don't have a choice. So when you don't have a choice but to hear something necessarily, I know I'm going to hear a Led Zeppelin song. Probably off Led Zeppelin 4, just this evening during the hockey game. Why the fuck would I ever put the record on? Now, that didn't happen out of nowhere, right? Chaume FM, the home of rock and roll here in Montreal. The home of rock and roll. Played Led Zeppelin so often. It burned me out. It used to be the same thing with the Beatles, but Led Zeppelin now. See, the Led Zeppelin thing, I think I've told this story already. I'm Italian, so Italians, they like the Led Zeppelin, you understand? So, you go to school, and everybody, it's kind of like they listen to music, and it's like they wear the music on their sleeve, just like we do. I mean, come on, metalhead, same thing, right? But, Led Zeppelin! Led Zeppelin! It's an Italian thing. It's a fucking WAP thing. It's a St. Leonard thing. Okay? So, I can't listen to Led Zeppelin anymore, and I'm fucking miserable. You know why? Because I can't get away from the fucking Led Zeppelin. Because I was just trying to watch a hockey game, and... Hey, mama, say the way you move! So, that's my Led Zeppelin bit. I have Led Zeppelin records. I have no choice. What choice do I have? They seem to kind of just find their way into the house. You can't get away from them. You're in Quebec. Led Zeppelin is... Pink Floyd, Genesis records, fucking same thing here. Ditto, man. T'as-tu du Led Zeppelin là-dedans, toi? Du Led Zeppelin ou du Genesis? T'aimes-tu du Genesis, du King Crimson? There is such a thing as the Quebec prog rock dozen. The prog rock starter kit. You want to get... the Quebec starter kit for vinyl, the prog rock starter kit. There will be a Led Zeppelin album. There will be a Genesis album. Peter Gabriel Genesis, no doubt there. You're going to find a King Crimson album for sure. You're going to find a Jethro Tull album. Aqualung probably, Thick as a Brick probably, but Aqualung definitely, it's going to be there. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. There's definitely going to be an Emerson, Lake and Palmer. French guys love that shit. Okay. Now there's the local flavor too. You know, you got to get a harmonium record in there. You got to get an Offenbach record in there. These records are in every collection. So if you buy records by the collection, chances are you're going to wind up owning these records fucking dozens of times because every Quebecer has these records in their collection. It's just the Quebec dozen. You need them. I have them. I mean, you don't have to be from Quebec to have a fucking harmonium record, but ask anyone from here and it's just, they know what it's about. I'm glad I got to take all that venom out. I feel better. I actually smiled. Thanks, guys. I hope it didn't get too heavy. Like I said, I'm not trying to go there. I'm not. It's just... it's supposed to be a real show, okay? And whether I like it or not, as a mentally ill person, this is the stuff that affects me, so... But what it is that I am enjoying is the fact that water is playing in the background. And even as I stay silent, you guys are able to help me. You guys are able to just add your own little piece in there. And is it good? It's coming out in a couple of weeks. Is it good? Is it something you'd buy? I can tell you one thing. Temporary residence records are affordable. And they're good. The quality is there. If you enjoy what you see, listen to this. I'll put it up a bit. That's very krautrock, definitely. Very John Carpenter too, don't you think? Halloween. See, that's what I was kind of hoping would come from this, where we, I can talk to specific elements of a record. But yeah, this, for example, I mean, anyone who's into 80s John Carpenter or krautrock, we definitely see where it's coming from here. I hope it doesn't get struck down for copyright. As a matter of fact, if anything, if you really want to know, wouldn't it be great if the members of Water actually saw this and liked the way it is that I used the material and presented it to you guys. We're trying. I mean, it might not be the best way to do things, but you should never trust the ears of someone else. Definitely shouldn't trust my ears. Trust your own. This gives you an opportunity to listen to the show while listening to something else. What do you think? Does it work? Would you like to see more of that? We're definitely not going to get it with the bigger artists because we're never going to clear copyright, but I'm very much about independent music and promoting art. I don't care how many millions of records or dozens of records it sells. So if this could become a thing, I'd love it. All right. You know something that could have happened? Something that will happen, but it didn't happen. We're going to just keep the water going, okay? I turned on the water, so now it's just going to stay. Untie the boat, turn on the water. I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone, and it's all right. I love Afghan wigs. I will always love Afghan wigs. And why am I showing you a Grateful Dead record? The reason I'm showing you a Grateful Dead record is to show you all the stuff I didn't do this week. A big box of records came from Morgue Music this week. Jazz. Beautiful jazz. Billie Holiday and Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane, man, my favorite things. It's just one album that I don't have, so I you know, it was probably the biggest hole in my jazz collection, so receiving an audiophile copy of my favorite things was huge, right? And that's usually the type of thing I jump on right away, but the minute I got the record, you know what wound up happening? I wound up feeling guilty. So, you know, I speak to head honcho Rossiter there regularly, Andrew, and it's like, hey, Rossiter, I got your package, thanks, but I'll be honest with you, I'm bummed, man. I can't do this now. I'm sorry. The music's too beautiful. I'm not feeling it. It's just, you know, I know you got it there. I know my responsibilities are, but what do you want me to do? Put it on? I'll play Billie Holiday during a moment that is worthy of Billie Holiday. Sometimes Slayer's the right answer. And he understood right away. Now, why am I showing you the Grateful Dead? Because the Grateful Dead box set, there's this whole thing we were planning to do around it. Okay, here, check it. You see it? Yeah. Fucking gorgeous. It is. I haven't even unwrapped it yet, okay? And to be honest with you, I haven't unwrapped it for a reason. And here's the back if you want to see it. Lots of Deadheads, right? First off, I didn't play it. 5 LP box set from Buffalo. Supposed to be one of the best shows from the era. Now, the funny part about that is that I'm not a Deadhead. I don't get it. I mean, it's not like it's shit. And I'm not really one of those guys that goes on with the, you know, band XYZ sucks. That's not me. And they're certainly popular, right? But I never understood the appeal of those jam bands like Fish and don't get it. It seems to me to be just like almost a reason for a bunch of white guys to congregate by the hundreds of thousands almost sometimes, but definitely by the tens of thousands and fucking do drugs and zone out. I'm not sure that I need to travel in a fucking buggy or in a van from city to city in order to do that. And you know what? You think about it, Don Headley may have been right when he talks about seeing a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac, because if you're actually going to get in a bus, or whatever you get in, and travel from city to city, and you're paying for tickets all the way through, plus you're feeding yourself, you're putting gas in the car, and you're, you know, buying drugs, you do have a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac somewhere, and the irony of that never really got past me. So the only way fuck. The only way I could put off something like doing a Grateful Dead review with any type of relevance without putting it on. You know what I'm saying? Without acting, is come to you from where I'm coming to you from. Which is to say that I have 3 Grateful Dead records that I almost never listen to. American Beauty, The Working Man's Dead, and another one. And the way it is that we're approaching this, Rossiter is actually not a Deadhead either, but Deadheads collect stuff. And this is an awesome thing to collect, and it's 5 LPs, and they have the budget to buy this stuff. And I'm told that it's really well done, and I'm going to listen to it. So at some point, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear a review, perhaps even a conversation. If it's a review, it's going to be a review of this Grateful Dead box set from somebody who doesn't really care for Grateful Dead. Doesn't hate them, but I'm not a fan. In other words, I'm telling you right now that my opinion simply won't matter. If it winds up happening that way, the review might be a conversation between me and Rossiter, in which case the premise becomes even better. It'll be a conversation between 2 guys who don't really understand the whole Grateful Dead thing, talking about the Grateful Dead thing. One guy who's supposed to review it, that would be me, and another guy who put it out and put resources to make sure that he can put out this really gorgeous premium box set here. And, yeah. So won't that be interesting? Tune into Vinyl Junkies, where they talk about the Grateful Dead, but don't really understand what all the fuss is about. I like banjos, but you know what? If I'm going to listen to a banjo, I'll put on a Flat and Scruggs record. I will get by. Have I gotten through all of it? Is there anything else I should be doing? I talked about protection. I talked about the Grateful Dead. Listen to this. This is the explodey part. Or you can call this picking winners music, because we're going to pick a winner. This is what's going to see us out. I'm going to look for a winner now, okay? First off, this is the way the winner thing goes. I guess I should lower this a little bit. Those of you who shared this broadcast were assigned a number. That's your raffle ticket number, your share number. And we pick from there. That's the way it's going to go from now on. So we pick a number. If it's your number and you tuned in, then you know you won. We're not there yet, so this time around I'm just going to pick a winner for this water record. Who liked it? Eric, you just sent me a bunch of names. Did anybody actually, did anybody comment about actually enjoying the record? Was there anything about that at all? Or was the entire segment a complete disaster? Which, I mean, I would accept if it is, right? But we're going to pick last week's winner for this week's Vinyl Me Please giveaway contest. So this week's winner from last week... Give me a second. In my attempt to be like David Letterman and throw shit around, I threw around the name of the winner. Mike Campbell. You shared, you picked a record, and you won a record from Vinyl Me Please. The rest of you, do not despair. Keep sharing, keep picking, because those of you that are sharing and picking right now, you know what happens? Can I tell you? Next week, I'm going to pick one of you to win. So, you guys aren't sharing and doing all of that. Of course, you're doing it because that's, you know, you care. It's not for the free record or nothing. I mean, you know, I know it comes from the goodness of your heart. But because of that goodness, I'll be picking the winner from this week and people to share now next week. Mike Campbell, you won this week. And I think no reaction to the water record, all of you fucking fucknuts. All right, well, who do I pick for the Mike? Mike Campbell, yeah, Mike Campbell won something already. We're going to give this water record to Alexandre Saint-Honoré. So, Alexandre Saint-Honoré, you just won what we're listening to right now. Okay, and yeah. Eventually, we're going to have the same routine happening every single week, and we're going to, it'll be all the same until then, you know. Figuring stuff out means that the plan isn't there yet, but, you know, thanks for sticking around, and if there are any missteps, please forgive them. I'm committed to making this good for you, okay? And I love giving you the free records, and I very strongly believe in community. And I can't possibly thank you more for being there for me last week. And showing me your records and playing, I needed that. I really needed that. And for all of the people who were unfortunate enough to be around me during the week, I'm sorry. I do the best I can, and you always have to have faith in people. Maybe it's a stupid thing, but... Alright. I'm fed up of hearing my voice. Are you fed up of hearing my voice? You're fed up, admit it. We're done, alright? Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Is it Thanksgiving in the States also, or only in Canada? If not, well, whatever. Just... Oops. Is this still recording? Maybe. Cannot publish the stream. What just happened? Is the stream done? Yep.